Shutdown Part 3. This one takes a deeper dive into the power struggle inside the Republican Party. So far, the 113th Congress has taken 42 votes to repeal Obamacare. But that 42nd vote was attached to a short-term appropriations bill necessary to keep the government operating. It's known as a continuing resolution, or CR. And when the House version of the CR died in the Senate, it wasn't just a small item in the evening news. The government shut down. Big item in the evening news. The Senate passed its own CR without any provisions to defund Obamacare. They call that a clean CR. House won't even vote on the clean CR. But just supposing they did take that vote, would any Republicans split and join with the Democrats to pass it? Maybe. This wasn't a sudden crisis. It's been planned for months. Inside the House, the push for a shutdown came from 80 members of the GOP caucus. That's about 1/3 of the House Republicans. The other 2/3? Well, they're apparently not in favor of blackmail and extortion, but also apparently very happy to go along with it, or maybe too scared not to. Conservative columnist and Fox News contributor Charles Krauthammer went so far as to call these 80 hardliners the Suicide Caucus, and he wasn't alone in warning against the shutdown. Here's a list of 49 prominent Republicans who have spoken out against the shutdown tactics. None of these are fans of President Obama or Obamacare, but some of them worry that a shutdown would damage the country, and most of them worried it would damage the party. Over the past week, at least 14, some say 20 GOP reps have told reporters that if they had an opportunity to vote on a clean CR, they would. The catch is, John Boehner, Speaker of the House, won't give them that chance. He gets to decide which bills come to the floor, and he won't put a clean CR up for a vote. Why not? Well, most Republicans are in what they call safe districts, meaning they're safe from Democrats. They're in districts where Mitt Romney won handily, where Republican voters outnumbered Democratic voters. Most of them won by 11% or more. But they're not safe from the Tea Party, and here's where I get to talk about the World Cup, the Super Bowl, the Olympics, and the World Series. Many more people tune in to big championship events than follow sports week in and week out. It's a smaller group of committed fans who follow the sport game by game and match by match. In U.S. politics, the big event is the presidential campaign. Big dollars, big coverage, big turnout nationwide. By contrast, congressional races, especially in the off year, smaller turnouts, locally based. And even smaller than those are the primary races which select the candidates. And because participation is so low, they're pretty easy to hijack if you get an energized base all riled up. A small minority of hyperpartisan voters, the ones who show up in the primaries, get to pick candidates who then become a minority in the House, who get to live out their fantasy, their Tea Party fantasy of shutting down the government. With the ongoing threat of purifying and purging the party of any sign of compromise, the 80 can hold the 152 at bay. After all, if the jihadists are willing to shut down the government, willing to throw bombs at the world economy, you can be sure they won't hesitate to use a primary to get rid of people they call squishes and rhinos, Republicans in name only. Most of the so-called reasonable Republicans will go along with the Tea Party. But maybe not all of them, because 17 House Republicans come from districts that were carried by Barack Obama. Those are not safe. These districts tend to be in the suburbs where voters aren't cheering the government shutdown. They're pretty pissed, and they're blaming the Republicans. If there's any chance of getting some Republican votes for a clean CR, it's with these folks. Look at the arithmetic. If 17 Republicans join 200 Democrats, then you have a majority of 217 in favor of a clean CR. We're moving to a system where the GOP is so right-wing they can't win the presidency, but on the other hand, they can't lose the rural southern congressional districts that became the stronghold of the Suicide Caucus. There must be some way out of here, said the Joker to the thief. I'll examine the prospects for that in Part 4 at the end of the week. Until next time, I'm Mickeleh. If you missed Part 1 of the series, it's here. Part 2 is here. And links to lots of good articles on the shutdown are in the description. The conversation continues in the comments. Want more Mickeleh? Subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Circle me on Google+. Bye now.